in the Otherwise, I can go ahead. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Saraswati Mashi, would you be able to do the Prema Davani?
Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhams Parivrajacharya Stor Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhams Parivrajacharya Stor Srimad Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananda Koti Vaishnav Vrind Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधारा श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण राधा कुंड गिरी गोवर्धन की जय। श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय। श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। श्री मायापुर नवद्वीप धाम की जय। श्री गंगा मैया की जय। श्री जमुना मैया की जय। श्री भक्ति देवी की जय। श्री तुलसी महारानी की जय। श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। मृदंगा की जय। सामवेद भक्त वृंद की जय। All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna Gora Premanande Hari Hari Bol.
Welcome everybody to Caitanya Caritamrita reading with His Holiness Jayādvaita Swami. It is Thursday, October 23rd, 2025, and we're beginning with Caitanya Caritamrita, Adi Leela 17, that's chapter 17, text 84. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Okay, text 84. I'll begin. Yakiya Santusta Vaila Sachira Nandana Sabake Koyala Age Kariya Baksana. Translation. Seeing the quality of the mangoes, the Lord was greatly satisfied, and thus, after eating first, he fed all the other devotees. Okay, if there's no comments here, I can move on to the next text, 85. Asti Valkala Nahi Amrita Rasamaya, Eka Phala Kaile Rase Udara Puraya. Translation: the fruits had no seeds or skins. They were full of nectarian juice and were so sweet that a man would be fully satisfied by eating only one. Okay. Any comments here? I'll read to the purport. 86. E mata partidina fale paramasa, Vaishnava kayena fala prabhura udasa. Translation: in this way, fruits grew on the tree every day throughout the 12 months of the year, and the Vaishnavas used to eat them to the Lord's great satisfaction. 87. E sabalila kare sachira nandana anya loka nahi jane vina bhakta gana. Translation: these are confidential pastimes of the son of Sachi. Other than devotees, no one knows of this incident. Purport: non-devotees cannot believe this incident, yet the place where the tree grew still exists in Mayapur. It is called Amragata or Amagata. Okay. Saraswati Matri, would you like to read from here?
Yes.
However long you like, or till the next purport? Okay.
Yes. E mata baramasa kirtana avashana amara mahotsava prabhu kare dina dina. Translation: in this way the Lord performed Sankirtan every day, and at the end of Sankirtan there was a mango eating festival every day for 12 months. Purport: on principle, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would distribute prasadam at the end of Kirtan performances. Similarly, the members of the Krishna consciousness movement must distribute some prasadam to the audience after performing Kirtan. Om Jnanantimirindasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. So I'm thinking how there's a very active Food for Life program here, but I'm remembering how Guru Maharaj was saying that it's important we follow what Srila Prabhupada established in terms of distributing prasadam after the performance of Kirtan. And Guru Maharaj was saying it's really important that the Vaishnavas, especially those that are now elderly, that their needs are met, and that be given priority over resources being diverted to such things as Food for Life programs. Would you still like me to continue reading?
Yeah.
Okay, 89. Kirtana karite prabhu aila mega gana apana ichaya kele mega nivarna. Once, while Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was performing Kirtan, clouds assembled in the sky, and the Lord, by his own will, immediately stopped them from pouring rain. Purport: in this connection, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that once, when Lord Chaitanya was performing Sankirtan, a short way from the village, some clouds appeared overhead. By the supreme will of the Lord, the clouds were asked to disperse, and they did. Because of this incident, that place is still known as Megare Chara. Since the course of the Ganges has now changed, the village of the name Belapukuria, which was formerly situated in a different place called Taranavasha has now become known as Megharachar. The Madhya Khanda of Sri Lochana Das Thakur's Chaitanya Mangala also relates that once at the end of the day, when evening clouds assembled overhead and thundered threateningly, all the Vaishnavas were very much afraid. But the Lord took his kartals in his hands and personally began chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, looking up towards the sky as if to direct the demigods in the higher planets. Thus all the assembled clouds dispersed, and as the sky became clear with the moon rising, the Lord began dancing very happily with his jubilant and satisfied devotees. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Would you like to comment? Also, Gurmaj has now come. Welcome. We're on text 89. Okay, shall we continue to the next text? Gurmaj, would you like to read?
Let me catch up after.
Okay. Shamsindhu Prabhu, are you available?
Sound audible?
You're audible, yes.
Hare Krishna. Okay. Ekadina Prabhu Srivasera Agyadila Virhat Sahasra Nama Pada Sunite Mana Haila. Translation. One day the Lord ordered Srivas Thakur to read the Brihat Sahasra Nama, the 1,000 names of Lord Vishnu, for he wanted to hear them at that time. Adite Aila Stavena Shimhera Nama Suniya Avishta Haila Prabhu Goradam. Translation. As he read the 1,000 names of the Lord, in due course the holy name of Lord Nrsimha appeared. When Caitanya Mahaprabhu heard the holy name of Lord Nrsimha, he became fully absorbed in thought. Purport. The Caitanya Mangala, Madhya Khanda, describes this incident as follows. Srivas Pandit was performing the Shraddha ceremony for his father, and as is customary, he was hearing the 1,000 names of Lord Vishnu. At that time, Gaurahari, Lord Chaitanya, appeared on the scene, and he also began to hear the 1,000 names of Vishnu with full satisfaction. When he thus heard the holy name of Lord Nrsimha, Lord Chaitanya became absorbed in thought, and he became angry like Nrsimha Prabhu in his angry mood. His eyes became red, his bodily hairs stood on end, all the parts of his body trembled, and he made a thundering sound. All of a sudden, he took up a club, and people became greatly afraid, thinking, "We do not know what kind of offense we have now committed." But then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu adjusted his thoughts and sat down on his seat. I don't have any comments on this. Maharaj, do you have anything to add to this purport, this passage?
No, I won't add anything.
Should I continue on, Rasananda Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu.
Nrsimha Aveshe Prabhu Hate Gara Lana Pasandi Marite Yaya Nagare Daiya. In the mood of Lord Nrsimhadev, Lord Chaitanya ran through the city streets, club in hand, ready to kill all the atheists. Nrsimha Avesha Deki Maha Tejomaya Pathachari Bhage Loka Pana Barabaya. Seeing him appearing very fierce in the ecstasy of Lord Nrsimha, people ran from the street and fled here and there, afraid of his anger. Lokabaya Deki Prabhu Rabaya Haila Srivasagar Hete Giya Gara Fe Laila. Seeing the people so afraid, the Lord came to his external senses and thus returned to the house of Srivas Thakur and threw away the club. Srivas kahena prabhu kariya visada lokabaya paya morahaya aparara. The Lord became morose and said to Srivas Thakur, "When I adopted the mood of Lord Nrsimhadev, people were greatly afraid. Therefore I stopped, since causing fear among people is an offense." Srivasa balena ye tomara namalaya tarakoti aparada sabahaya shaya. Srivas Thakur replied, "Anyone who takes your holy name vanquishes 10 million of his offenses immediately." Aparada nahi kaile lokera nishtara ye toma de kila tara jutila samsara. Sorry, just going back out of curiosity, was Srivas Thakur mentioning the name of Lord Chaitanya himself or the name of Krishna? Because we chant the Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya mantra before the mantra. Just curious which name he's referring to. Okay, no comment. I'll continue on.
Yes.
Aparada,
Thank you.
aparada. Oh, sorry, you're saying something?
Excuse me. It be Lord Chaitanya's holy name.
Okay. Thank you, Mara.
It's your holy name. So that be Mahaprabhu.
Okay. Yeah, Praveen Prabhu had the same question, now answered.
Aparada nahi kaile lokera nishtara etoma de kila tara chutila samsara. There was no offense in your appearing as Nrsimhadev. Rather, any man who saw you in that mood was immediately liberated from the bondage of material existence. I have one question actually about the name of Lord Chaitanya and Krishna's names. We chant, so we chant once before we chant, once every round we chant the Panchatattva mantra. And I believe in Mangalarti before, when we chant the prayers 3 times max. So it seems like there's a limit to how much we chant Lord Chaitanya's Panchatattva mantra, but then unlimited amount of times we can chant the Maha mantra. I'm curious what the reason is for that, if Lord Chaitanya is actually our means for attaining Radha and Krishna. I would think that we could just chant his name as a substitute for the holy name, but it's not like that at all.
The Om Vishnu Pada Prastha Today Shri Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaudavani Parane For Kirtan, Srila Prabhupada wanted to emphasize the name of Krishna, and he asked us to limit the Panchatattva, say 3 times only, but like that. Not on and on. The idea that we should touch one once for every round is an introduction that didn't come from the Prabhupada at all. It's free to chant Panchatattva before every round, after every or what have you, but there's no such requirement or direction from Srila Prabhupada. Somebody else to come up with this idea. It's not something but ever told us to do. Your question wasn't about that verse, but I'll make that point. It's not something Prabhupada asked to do. So there was no question of limit it. You can only do it around. He never told us to do it all. But there's no, in general, no limit what chant was named will one only in the kirtan, but gave us restriction. But our emphasis is the Krishna mantra, is Chaitanya, who gave it to us, or because Prabhupada wanted to put emphasis.
Guru Maharaj, you're a bit choppy.
Yeah, I'm to disappear and reappear to fix it. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So Maharaj said that the chanting of, it was a little choppy. Maybe if someone heard, was it the chanting of the Panchatattva mantra before every round? It was not a requirement from Prabhupada. Yeah, it's not something that was like an instruction. It just kind of appeared.
That's what I heard. It was
Wow.
introduced after, or introduced by not, I don't know about after, but by someone else.
I'm kind of curious what. In one sense, I don't know if that's considered like a deviation or what, but how dangerous little things creeping in are, what things are innocent, what things we should be very strict about pushing back against. Yeah, I'm a little curious how that all works.
Yeah. Okay, I'll just wait a few seconds or a minute or so.
Just let me know when Maharaj joins again, and I can read on, or if his connection.
Yes, it's Sati Mataji. Would you like to say something?
There's something in the chat box, but
Yeah, I'm just gonna wait for Guru Maharaj, if you think it's all right. I think he was just trying to rejoin.
I just wanted to add that this question was asked before, and Guru Maharaj replied that it's the way that Srila Prabhupada set things up, and I agree that it's sort of dangerous to try and change things around. It's better to follow in the footsteps of the great acharyas and what they've set for us. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you, Mataji.
Okay. I'll read the thing in the chat. Yeah. Praveen Prabhu, Harikesha. Specifically, he placed this restriction on the chanting after one incident with Isan Prabhu in Vrindavan. In July of 1974, when he first moved into his new quarters, we were both holding kirtans in his room in the afternoon, and then Prabhupada would give class. On one of the first days, Ishan Prabhu, who at that time was doing what was to be later known as Fate Doll Exhibition, led a kirtan. He was simply repeating the Sri Krishna mantra, Sri Krishna Caitanya, ... over and over again, perhaps for 15 minutes, when Prabhupada demanded that he stop and chant Hare Krishna. It was after this that Prabhupada became quite strict on the number of times the mantra was sung. Kirtan standards. Guru Maharaj, would you like to comment?
Well, there it is from Kirtan Standards book. Prabhupada imposed that limit he didn't want. endless Panchatattva mantra kirtan. Even though it's considered to be not subject to offenses and so on. So we follow the acharyas.
Sindhu Prabhu, was there something more that you wanted to add?
No.
Okay. Saraswati Mataji, see your hand.
Guru Maharaj, I'm trying to recall certain details as accurately as I can. Perhaps you can correct me, but wasn't there an incident, or a pastime, I should rather say, when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met Vallabha Bhatt? Of course, he's later known as Vallabhacharya. And where Vallabha Bhatt was saying that, why is it that they were chanting the Hare Krishna mantra and specifically chanting Krishna, because wasn't the argument that he made that if we are all to be enjoyed by Krishna, then, or in the form of, I don't know, consort or something, I believe, but anyway, his argument was that we should never address, just like a wife would never call her husband by his first name. So his argument was that we shouldn't be calling, why is it that in the Hare Krishna mantra we're saying Krishna? And I don't know if I remember all of that accurately, but wasn't then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saying, oh, let Advaita Acharya give that answer? And then wasn't the answer that if the husband wants that the wife call him by his first name, then the wife's first duty is to obey the wishes of the husband? I don't know if I remember all these details accurately, but there was this pastime.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's find it. Give me just a moment. Yeah, it's Adi Leela 7103. Let's see. Every living entity's female when considers Krishna her husband. It's the duty of a chaste wife devoted to her husband not to utter her husband's name. But all of you chant the name of Krishna. How can this be called a religious principle? Advaita Acharya said, in front of you is Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the personification of religious principles. You should ask him. He will give you the proper answer. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, my dear Vallabha, you do not know religious principles. Actually, the first duty of a chaste woman is to carry out the order of her husband. The order of Krishna is to chant his name incessantly. Therefore, one who is chaste and devoted to the husband, Krishna, must chant the Lord's name, for she cannot deny the husband's order. Following this religious principle, a pure devotee of Lord Krishna always chants the holy name. As a result of this, he gets the fruit of ecstatic love for Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. I thought I had sort of remembered some of the details properly, but it's interesting because the mantra that the Pushti Margis are given when they are initiated, and of course Vallabhacharya started the Pushti Marg movement.
Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Yeah, so they're already, yes. Anyway, thank you so much, Guru Maharaj.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Sati Mataji, did you have a hand from earlier? Would you like to ask something?
I just was in a class once with Mahatma Prabhu, and he was saying the Panchatattva mantra before each round of japa. He said it like one of his disciples asked that if it was okay, and he said it won't kill you. Like he didn't say he didn't say it was wrong or right. And my spiritual master himself has always told me like he didn't say it was wrong or right. He just said like you can do it if you want to, but it's not gonna like I never heard that it was like I have heard devotees say it's an offense, but I heard when I heard the Mahatma Prabhu say that, it kind of like opened my eyes. Like he said, he said it wouldn't kill you. That was his response.
There's no rule that you can't chant the Panchatattva mantra at any particular time, but devotees seem to be often under the impression, in fact, that very much large numbers of devotees are under the impression that it's an instruction Prabhupada gave, that this is how you chant before every round. Chant the Panchatattva mantra. Some say on the head beat, some say don't say on the head beat, but this is Prabhupada's instruction. That this is what they were always taught. But no, it's not a teaching from Prabhupada. Can you do it? Yeah, it won't kill you. But is it an instruction from Prabhupada? No.
Saraswati Machi, can you take the chat from now on? I need to leave.
Yes.
Thank you.
Which text are we on now? 99?
98.
98. Well, I can read a few and then somebody else can carry over. Eta bali shriva se karila sevana, tushtahana prabhu aila apna bhavana. After saying this, Srivas Thakur worshipped the Lord, who was then greatly satisfied and returned to his own home. Text 99. Aradina Shiva Bhakta Shiva Guna Gaye, Prabhura Angana Nache Tamru Bhajaye. On another day, a great devotee of Lord Shiva, chanting of Lord Shiva's qualities, came to Lord Chaitanya's house, where he began dancing in the courtyard and playing his damru, a musical instrument. Text 100. Mahesha Vesha Haila Sachira Nandana Taraskande Chati Nritya Kela Bahu Kshana. Translation. Then Lord Chaitanya, adopting the mood of Lord Shiva, got on the man's shoulders, and thus they danced together for a long time. Purport. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu adopted the mood of Lord Shiva, for he is Shiva also. According to the philosophy of Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva, Lord Shiva is not different from Lord Vishnu, but still Lord Shiva is not Lord Vishnu. Just as yogurt is nothing but milk, and yet it is not milk nevertheless. One cannot get the benefit of milk by drinking yogurt. Similarly, one cannot get salvation by worshipping Lord Shiva. If one wants salvation, one must worship Lord Vishnu. This is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 9.4. Matstani sarvabhutani na chaham tesha vavastitaha. Everything is resting on the Lord, for everything is his energy. Yet he is not everywhere. Lord Chaitanya's adopting the mood of Lord Shiva is not extraordinary, but one should not therefore think that by worshipping Lord Shiva, one is worshipping Lord Chaitanya. That would be a mistake. Guru Maharaj, if you have some comments. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Prabhupada's carefully guiding us in this regard. There's oneness between Lord Shiva and Lord Krishna or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but there's a distinction. Shriram Yata. Hare Krishna.
Jalatala Devi Mataji, would you like to read? Would you be available to read from text 101?
Yes, I am available. Okay. Ardina eka vishuka aila magite. Prabhur nritya deki nritya lagilo korite. On another day, a mendicant came, to beg alms from the Lord's house, but when he saw the Lord dancing, he also began to dance. Text 102. Prabhu shange nritya kore parama ulase. Prabhu tare prema dilo prema rase pashe. He danced with the Lord because he was favored by love of Krishna. Thus he flowed in the mellows of love of Godhead. Text 103. Ardine jyotish sarvagya eka ailo, tahare saman kari prabhu prashna koilo. On another day, an astrologer came who was said to know everything, past, present, and future. Thus Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu received him with all honor and put this question before him. Purport. Brahmanas generally used to become astrologers, Ayurvedic physicians, teachers, and priests. Although highly learned and respectable, such Brahmanas went from door to distribute their knowledge. A Brahmana would first go to a householder's home to give information about the functions to be performed on a particular tithi or date. But if there were sickness in the family members would consult the Brahmin as a physician, and the Brahmin would give instruction and some medicine. Often, since the Brahmins were expert in astrology, people would also be greatly inquisitive about their past, present, and future. Although the Brahmin appeared at Lord Chaitanya's house as a beggar, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu received him with great respect because he was a qualified Brahmin who knew the astrological science perfectly. Although Brahmins would go door to door just like beggars, they were honored as very respectable guests. This was the system in Hindu society 500 years ago, during the time of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This system was current even 100 years ago. Even 50 or 60 years ago, when we were children, such Brahmins would visit householders like humble beggars, and people would derive great benefit from the mercy of such Brahmins. The greatest benefit was that a householder could save a great deal of money from being spent on doctor bills, because the Brahmins, aside from explaining the past, present, and future, could ordinarily cure all kinds of diseases simply by giving instructions and some medicine. Thus, no one was bereft of the benefit of a first-class physician, astrologer, and priest. The important members of ISKCON should give careful attention to our Dallas school, where children are being taught Sanskrit and English to become perfect Brahmins. If they are actually trained as perfect Brahmins, they can save society from rogues and ruffians. Indeed, people can live happily under the protection of qualified Brahmins. Therefore, the Bhagavad Gita 4.13 gives special stress to the division of society. Chaturvarnyam maya shrishtam guna karma vibhagasham. Unfortunately, some people are now claiming to be Brahmins simply by birthright with no qualifications. Therefore, the entire society is in chaos. I don't have any comments. Maharaj, would you like to comment on this first?
Yeah, this is well, give me just one thought here. This will be a very sweet pastime, this exchange between Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Brahmin astrologer. We get this background that the Brahmins used to give information in astrology, medicine, and spiritual understanding. All of this was available from the Brahmins, who would give this information at no cost, but and they would go from door to door in this way. Srila Prabhupada didn't give much importance to our studying astrology for that purpose. Hare Krishna.
I was reading today about some of the talents of the Astasakis, Radharani's 8 closest friends, and I learned that Sudevi, she was an expert at astrology, master spy. So I was just thinking about that when we read about the astrology, and of course we know that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj himself was a very learned astrologer.
Well,
Maharaj Shri, you're muted.
Prabhupada gave a comment about that. He wrote a letter to one devotee, Sanatan Das, in June of 75. No, you should not bother with all this nonsense. I don't know what he wrote to Prabhupada, but no, you should not bother with all this nonsense. Astrology will not save you at the time of death. my Guru Maharaj was a great astrologer and astronomer, but he gave it all up. It is meant for the karmis. We have no interest in such things. I hope this means you in good health. So, of course, that every instruction has its context, and we don't know the full context here, but that's what Prabhupada wrote.
Thank you, Maharaj. Naveen Prabhuji, would you be available to read text 104?
Yes, I can. Ke achilun ami purva janme kaha gani ganite lagela sarva ga prabhu vakya
And I
shuni.
see Naveen, but I'm not hearing him. I don't know if that's just me.
Yes, we can hear him.
Oh,
It was just me. Okay. Hare Krishna, sorry.
translation. Please tell me who I was in my previous birth. The Lord said, please tell me by your astrological computations. Hearing the words of the Lord, the astrologer immediately began to calculate. Purport. Through astrology, one can know past, present, and future. Modern Western astrologers have no knowledge of the past or future, nor can they perfectly say anything about the present. Herein we find, however, that after hearing Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's order, the astrologer immediately began his calculations. This was not a facade. He actually knew how to ascertain one's past life through astrology. A still existing treatise called the Bhrigu Samhita describes a system by which anyone can immediately get information about what he was in the past and what he is going to be in the future. The Brahmanas who went door to door as if beggars had perfect command of such vast knowledge. Thus, the highest knowledge was easily available even to the poorest man in society. The poorest man could inquire from an astrologer about his past, present, and future, with no need for business agreements or exorbitant payments. The Brahmana would give him all the benefit of his knowledge without asking remuneration, and the poor man, in return, would offer a handful of rice, or anything he had in his possession, to satisfy the Brahmana. In a perfect human society, perfect knowledge in any science, medical, astrological, ecclesiastical, and so on, is available even to the poorest man, with no anxiety over payment. In the present day, however, no one can get justice, medical treatment, astrological help, or ecclesiastical enlightenment without money. And since people are generally poor, they are bereft of the benefits of all these great sciences. Maharaj, would you
Yes, everything's money, 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 money. Everything's money. But the knowledge offered by the Brahmins was offered without cost. Yes, Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, I'm thinking of something my mother said about where we know the doctors in the ancient times were called Ved, and she used to say, "Be careful of the three Veds who will bleed you dry," or the three V's: Ved, Vakil, the lawyer, and Vishya, the we're at text 105.
I see a hand up from Shamsundupa.
Oh, okay. I can't see hands from my end for some reason. Go ahead, please, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Hare Krishna devotees. I'm curious, so they were giving this knowledge out freely, and I guess it could be considered, yeah, it was mundane knowledge, but I'm curious, was it a preaching tool, being people that, the townspeople referred to for knowledge, and what was Prabhupada's take on this whole thing of them having that kind of mundane knowledge and then also the spiritual knowledge?
Not mentioned here as being a sort of a come on. The Brahman's business is to teach. Dronacharya was teaching military science, and the others would teach in other ways. So this was the business of the Brahmins. Not even we hear, for example, that the Goswamis were approachable by the local Brajbasis, even for settling marital arguments. There'd be some arguments in the families, so they would go to the Babas, to the Goswamis, one or another. Sir, we're having this argument. Could you help us? And the Goswamis were so affectionate to the Brajbasis that they would help sort the matters out. So that's perhaps a different matter. But this was the business of the Brahmins, to teach, to offer knowledge, to perform these Brahminical services. And there were no strings and no, that they would just, this is their routine service that they would offer. And of course, they would naturally offer spiritual knowledge, but it wasn't like, it's not indicated here that after giving an astrological reading, they would say, and now here's a spiritual instruction. But naturally, the Brahmins, especially those who were advanced in Krishna consciousness, would freely offer spiritual knowledge to everyone.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Maharaj.
Satya Devi Mataji, would you be available to read text 105?
Yeah. Wait, I don't have someone else can read.
Oh, okay. Well, I think I'll just continue reading. Text 105. Ganidhyani dekhe sarvagna mahajyotish jyotirmaya ananta vaikunta brahmanda sabara ashraya. Translation. Through calculation and meditation, the all-knowing astrologer saw the greatly effulgent body of the Lord, which is the resting place of all the unlimited Vaikunta planets. Purport. Here we get some information of the Vaikunta world or spiritual world. Vaikunta means without anxiety. In the material world, everyone is full of anxiety. But another world where there is no anxiety is described in Bhagavad Gita 8.20. Parastasmastu bhavo nyavyakto vyakta sannatana yasa sarveshu bhuteshu nashyatshu na vinashyati. Yet there is another unmanifest nature which is eternal and is transcendental to this manifested and unmanifested matter. It is supreme and is never annihilated. When all in this world is annihilated, that part remains as it is. As there are many planets within the material world, there are many millions of planets called Vaikuntha Lokas. In this spiritual world, all these Vaikuntha Lokas or superior planets rest on the effulgence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As stated in the Brahma Samhita, Yasya Prabha Prabhavato Jagata Anda Koti, the Brahman effulgence emanating from the body of the Supreme Lord creates innumerable planets in both the spiritual and material worlds. Thus, these planets are creations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The astrologer saw Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu to be the very same personality of Godhead. We can just imagine how learned he was, yet he was traveling door to door, just like an ordinary beggar, for the highest benefit of human society. Maharaji, do you have some comments?
No?
Text 106. Parama Tattva Para Brahma Parama Ishvara Dekhi Prabhura Murti Sarvagna Hela Fanfara. Translation. Seeing Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to be the same absolute truth, the Supreme Brahman, the personality of Godhead, the astrologer became confused. A purport. Herein it is clearly indicated that the absolute truth, the Supreme Brahman, is in the ultimate issue, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, a person is the beginning of all things. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 10.8, Matta Sarvam Pravartate, everything begins from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Supreme Lord is the supreme living entity. Therefore, whatever exists, whether matter or spirit, is all but an emanation from the Supreme Person or Supreme Life. The modern scientist's theory that life begins from matter is nonsense. Both matter and life begin from life. Unfortunately, the scientists do not know this scientific fact. They are drifting in the darkness of their so-called knowledge. Guru Maharaj, do you have some comments here?
Well, there it is, Prabhupada's judgment on such theories. Hare Krishna.
Text 107. Balite na pare kichu mona hela, Prabhu puna prashana kaila kahita lagila. Purport. Struck with wonder, the astrologer remained silent, unable to speak. But when the Lord again put the question before him, he replied as follows. Text 108. Purva janma chili tumi jagata ashraya, paripurna bhagwan saravishwarya maya. Translation. My dear sir, in your previous birth you were the shelter of all creation, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, full of all opulences. Text 109. Purvaya chichila tumi abesa rupa, durviknya nityananda tumara swarupa. Translation. You are now the same personality of Godhead that you were in your previous birth. Your identity is inconceivable, eternal happiness. Purport. By the power of astrological science, one can even ascertain the position of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Everything is to be identified by its symptoms. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is identified by the symptoms mentioned in the Shastras. It is not that anyone and everyone can become God without proof from Shastras. Guru Maharaj, do you have some comments here?
No?
Would you think we should continue or have Kirtan now? Guru Maharaj, we have
Well, we're in the midst of the pastime, but still, to complete the pastime, there's a fairly not terribly long purport, but I think we should stop, and then we can just recapitulate the pastime in our next the pastime so far in our next class and continue, and we could have kirtan.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Krishna Konteya Prabhuji, would you be available to lead the closing Kirtan? Naveen Prabhuji, would you
He
be
may not be available. He's, by the way, having some quite serious health challenges with.
Yes, thank you, Maharaj. Go ahead.
So we can all pray for his quick recovery. He's got some nasty skin lesions, quite severe. So we hope for his speedy recovery from such things. It's meanwhile causing a lot of pain and trouble.
Hare Krishna? We can all pray for his quick recovery. Krishna Konteya Prabhuji. I hope you get well soon. Naveen Prabhuji, could you lead the closing Kirtan? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Pariprajaka Stotra Shri Srimadesi Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai, Aim Sekaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Jayādvaita Gadadhar Shiva Shadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai, Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath, Sham Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai, Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Navadip Dham Ki Jai, Jagannath Puri Ki Jai, Ganga Ki Jai, Jamuna Ki Jai, Tulsi Devi Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Samaveta Bhakti Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.
Thank you to all the Vaishnavas for joining our Sangha. Krishna Kantaya Prabhuji, we really appreciate you joining our Sangha, and especially Maharaj Shri. I think it's 1 a.m. if in London. I think you're in London now, Guru Maharaj.
Yes.
His Holiness Jayādvaita Maharaj Shri ki Jai. Hare Krishna.
Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Samaveta Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna.